Good morning, dreamers. How are you today? Carl's in Wyoming right now, so I'm praying for him while I drink from my Wyoming mug. It says it's the equality state, and then it's got a rainbow splashed on it. I do find it ironic's not the word, but they're pushing back against some very loud racists and homophobic groups and that are from Wyoming. Um, and the government there is pushing back, and sometimes people who um, I don't know, they just think, oh, everybody's talking about this, everybody's offended, everybody's this, be who you want to be, just don't bring it over here and don't tell me about it, I just don't care. Well, sometimes we need to care. And there was a young man named Matthew who lived in Wyoming, and October 6th and 7th we remember, don't celebrate, but we remember him. This year I was a little bit busy, but he was gay. And a group of people didn't like that he was gay. And they lured him to a specific place. They tied him up on a fence post and they took his life. And they beat him so badly that the only clean part of his skin were two lines down his face where he'd been crying. Um, we say 6 and 7 because it started on 6, but he passed on 7 because it was an all-night situation. And I think when I look at this mug and I see that it's a beautiful a beautiful mug, and it's from a state that says we're the equality state, they're still pushing back about against something that happened, 20 years ago, because one group of bad apples, if you will, colored the entire state. And I think when we um, when we get apathetic and we say, it doesn't affect me, or why is everyone so sensitive, or why do they have to keep talking about it? Why can't they just talk about something else? They have an agenda. They have you know what their agenda is? To be loved, to be accepted as divinely created individuals. That's their agenda. The only agenda they have is love. Every one of us have that agenda. And I sit here and I pray for a wonderful, hardworking dude that drove all night and has finally found respite. Um, and it's just, oh, I know he's driving down highways where there are people outside of those truck doors that are horribly unkind. But I also know that it can happen here in Cambridge. I heard a story on the weekend of a young man being terribly bullied in a local school here. I don't know why. I don't know who. I don't know how to help. I don't know. But the terrible is everywhere. The terrible is everywhere. But so is God. So is the divine. When He puts the spark of the divine within you because you've been created for something amazing, you have to think, am I going to be the person who brings light and color to the world? Or am I going to dim other people's lights? Am I going to accuse them of things that are not acceptable? Or am I going to just make judgment calls on them based on skin, orientation, what they're wearing, for instance, the fact that she's 44 and wearing pigtails? Oh my goodness, I'm going to make some judgment calls about her. I would too on that one. But am I going to bring the light and color to the world? Or am I going to bring darkness? And that's where I sit. It's not about fear that other people are going to bring an agenda. It's not fear that, because quite frankly, the only agenda I've seen is a bunch of scared and offended white people, mad that people want to talk about race with their children so that they can stop. And you always see the cycle of abuse. You have to be the one that stops the cycle of abuse. If you've been abused, don't abuse others because you got to stop the cycle of, well, hey, guess what? The world has to start somewhere, and it means learning. Learning. And so it's always about other people, other people, other people. But what am I going to do? Because quite frankly, the job is so big. It's so daunting sometimes. How do I bring the love of God, the kingdom of God on earth as it is in heaven? How do I do that? How do I get so passionate about the people around me, the people God's put in my vicinity? I can't help the people in Wyoming. I'm not there. But there's people in my vicinity that I am adjacent to. Those are my neighbors. Those are the people I need to impact for Jesus and bring the color and the light to them. So how am I going to do that? That's my challenge to you too, is just think about these things. Meditate on them. Be ready for divine interruptions. I don't know who told me that phrase, but I love it. Hold your schedule loosely enough that if something pops in your way, you don't panic and you don't fret. Talking to myself. Anyway, what are you going to do to change the world today? To bring light and color to those that are adjacent to you? I don't know. But as you have your coffee or your latte, as it is today, think about it. Because quite frankly, it's nobody else's job but yours. I taught my people at Tim Hortons, if you're taking care of everybody else, then everybody else is taking care of you. That's how we work here. We take care of our teammates. We take care of everyone else. Don't worry about yourself, because you fight for the team, you work for the team, and you take care of the team. Guess what? You're part of the team. Therefore, if everyone is doing that, everybody else is taking care of you. So you can have one person taking care of one person, or you can have 25 people taking care of you. One person taking care of you or 25 people taking care of you. It's your choice. And if we run the team like this, 25 people will be taking care of each one of us. So yeah, it's nobody's job but yours. It's nobody's job but mine. This Friday, what are you going to do to change the world? Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Oh, know that I love you. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.